Hey guys, and welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner. Today we will be discussing Jurassic World, the fourth film in the Jurassic Park series, and is directed by Colin Trevorrow. Now, I'm going to say going into this movie, I was open-minded. I was looking forward to it, but I was a little skeptical after the last two. I wasn't sure how well it would hold up. I'm gonna try not to spoil too much for this movie. There may be few minor spoilers here or there, and if there are, just be warned. In this movie, you have the island. The park is now opened. It's been opened after, for 22 years, and it's starting to decline a little bit as far as visitors and keeping people entertained. The visitor rates are declining. So in order to kind of build up more interest in the park, they decide to splice together some more DNA and create an all-new dinosaur. And as I'm sure you're well aware, the dinosaur gets out, the Indominus Rex gets out and starts killing people and everything, and so they have to try to put a stop to that. And you have characters like Ty Simpkins, who plays Gray, and Nick Robinson, who plays Zach. And so you have to deal with them and what they're going through with the park. And then you got Bryce Dallas Howard as Claire and Chris Pratt as Owen, who are trying to not only save these kids, but they're trying to also track down the Indominus Rex and get a hold of the situation. Now, going through this movie, a lot of the main plot for me works really well. I do like that the park is actually open. That kind of brings a new thing to it that the first one didn't have. Some of the subplots were unnecessary. I'm not going to get into it too much, but the relationship between the kids, there's involvement with that is a little unnecessary. And even though I liked Ty Simpkins as Gray quite a bit, I didn't like Nick Robinson as Zach as much. So there is that. And then you have characters like Vincent D'Onofrio as Hoskins and his subplot, which I felt like it was a bit unnecessary as well, and took away a little bit from the movie. And his acting was okay. Some of the dialogue in this movie isn't great. Some of it can be forgiven, though, because of how the delivery went. When you have Bryce Dallas Howard in the movie, she really does a good job. And as Claire, she did all right. She's kind of a standard corporate person who changes over the course of the movie, but not really a spoiler, just a minor little tidbit. Her running, she literally runs in high heels throughout the entire movie, and I don't know how that could physically be possible, and it was kind of distracting. So I'm just gonna say that. You do get a lot of nods to the first movie, which for the most part I think they worked pretty well. There's a scene with the kids that takes place that is kind of a nod. At the same time, I don't know how it quite worked out the way it did. And you also do have a character that was in a minor role in the first movie that shows back up in this movie, so I'm not going to spoil that. But it was nice to see him. You had some really good fight sequences, which I liked. Obviously, the raptors we see from the trailer, they're kind of trained, and you understand how that's able to happen, and I bought into that. Another thing is, not really a spoiler, but the T-Rex that you see in the trailer is the original T-Rex of the movie, even though they don't flat out acknowledge it. It's still kind of cool, a little tidbit. I don't feel like there was enough connection to the characters like there was in the first one. You have some characters that have a little bit, but I didn't really care about them as much as I feel like I should have. So when some characters, inevitably die, some of the death scenes, I felt like they weren't as well executed as they were in the first one. You do get some suspense, though, which I like that. The visual effects, I feel like they worked for the most part. And some of the death scenes were shot really well. So some of them weren't as much, but there were other ones where I thought they did a really good job. Another case is there's a scene in the movie where a dinosaur is dying, and you kind of pan to the characters looking at this creature and the death of the creature itself. It's very emotional, very well executed, looked great. I was really invested in that, so that works out quite well. Like I said, there's some things in this movie that don't work very well, but you do understand where the Indominus Rex is coming from or what it is. It's not just like a killer just out for the sake of killing, like what you saw in Jurassic Park 3. So there is that. There is, you do understand why it's doing what it's doing. There's a few points about it, little things that were involved with it in its creation that they didn't utilize as much as I thought they would. But overall, this movie is a really enjoyable movie, really entertaining. It doesn't live up to the first one, but you almost can expect it to, and it has enough there that is in relation to the first one are on its own that works pretty well to warrant the rating that I'm going to give it, which is a 7 out of 10. I did highly enjoy this movie, and I would recommend going and seeing it if you haven't. And I will absolutely be getting this movie when it comes out on Blu-ray. So that being said, do you guys agree with this? What do you rate the movie? Where do you think it stands among the other three? Are you, if you haven't seen it, are you looking forward to it? And as a fun little thing, if there was a park opened with dinosaurs, if this actually happened, and there was a park open with dinosaurs, would you go? Curious what you guys think. Anyway, thanks for checking this out, guys, and peace.